It's so nice to be sat here today and reminisce back on the last few years, because I used to be so caught up in the rat race, trying to get something, trying to become something, trying to be worthy, trying to achieve something. But there's an interesting thing that happens. God starts to give you all things when you let go. That's what blew my mind. When I finally started to let go and surrender to the divine flow of life, which is basically God's peace, God's harmony, life started to open up where it never did before. I've tried so many different things. I mean, I was an actor and I created success there through force and push. And then I had a physical and an emotional breakdown. And then I tried to start an entertainment company. Then I started to try my own band. And then this, and then that. And then singing lessons, then this. Then I'll move here, then that. And everything seemed to be just drenched in failure. And why was that? It was because I thought it was all me. I thought I had to do it. I have to figure this out. I have to do it. Once I figure this out as little me, then it will happen. If I keep trying. And I got taken into the, Elon Musks of this world and the AI people who are now saying, I work 7 days a week and then more hours on Sunday. It's like, come on, man. What life is that? Now, if it brings you ultimate joy, then who am I to judge? But for me, I started to do less. I'll never forget this point where letting go became really certain to me that it's the answer. And it isn't even at the point where I was at my lowest. It was at where I was getting so busy with people wanting to work with me as a coach. And I decided to reduce my hours that I work because my family life was getting affected. But then the income doubled, and then people were getting better results, and I just can't even fathom it. I can't fathom it. Do less and get more. But then I start to go to scripture, and God says, the Lord is my shepherd. It's one of the prayers, I shall not want. So it's like I start to realize God gives you everything because he wants to shepherd you. He wants to guide you, wants to work through you. So in all aspects of my life now, I try and put divinity first. So I take no responsibility for any success or people that have healed working with me or manifested their dreams or saved their lives. I don't take any responsibility for how my marriage has found new blessings. I don't take that responsibility on anymore. I surrendered to God a few years back and decided that the divine flow of life knows better than I. Now, does that mean I don't guide it with a gentle intention? Yes, I have desires. That also is a godly stirring within. But it's that letting go of the need for it to work out exactly the way that I need it to. See, one of the most perfect affirmations that's allowed me to surrender is by going into a more general state with him. Like I say, God is the true source of my supply. All my needs are met now and forever. Well, what does that even mean? All of my needs are met now and forever. God is the source of my supply. It means that I don't need to worry about anything anymore. It doesn't mean God is the true source of my supply and he makes me £1 million a month and live in this exact address and live in this exact place. So I start to go to a general place and then surrender any emotional resistance when things don't go my way. I'd said in a previous video about an accountant overcharged me, and I surrendered to that, accepted I may have to pay it, but let go and trusted that God would come in and find the solution. And what was that solution? Well, he ended up getting me, 35% off the bill. Did I do that? Am I that good? Am I that intelligent? When someone comes to me who needs a healing, and I say, God works through this session now, and they heal themselves from Parkinson's disease. Am I that good? As this little mind in my head, that intelligent? No, it's not. And that's the thing I'm trying to say to you. It isn't special people that can do this. When you surrender, and I say it in a lot of my videos, so check them out. But once you finally let go of trying to control life to go exactly the way you want it to be, so you'll be happy, that's when God steps in. And he will give you muchly. I like the word muchly. He will give you muchly. And I'm reminiscing back on the last, year and a half of my life. And it's like I'm just in a totally different place in life. And not a place that I have over pushed and forced and strived. I've just listened to the gentle nudges within. And again, I'm telling you my story because it's the easiest way for me to teach. But it's like you will be guided by intuition. Circumstances will arise for you to find a solution. God will bring it to you. I mean, I could tell you multiple stories of little fun things. Like needing to get the plates changed on my van as we brought it to Spain, and it happening a day before I would have had to take it back to England if it didn't work out. Like the fact that I got a legal letter that I required to be able to live with my family safely in Spain a week before I needed it. All of these sort of things, these are little, but it's like how I can, I have a certain standard of living, but even if I work 1 week in the month or 4 weeks, it seems to be provided for. I just don't, there's no other way to explain it except that divinity has to come into that space. So if you're there striving, struggling, worrying, doubting, fearful, know this: it's your emotional turmoil or the emotional attachment to circumstance that blocks you. God said to us, worship no other God but me. There is only one God. But we make gods of circumstances all the time. We make gods of that feeling. That person said that to me and it's made me feel bad, and I'm going to hold on to that for the next 6 months until they say sorry. You're making a god of that person. My tax bill is around the corner, and that means that all I can think about is getting that sorted out. You're making a god of that tax bill. You actually add to your sorrow every time you worry. Now, does it mean you don't have emotion when you're letting go? Of course not. But you make the most important part of your life to let go of the turmoil within inside. God also tells us in the Bible, as within, so without, as above, so below. What that means is as your inner world changes, the outer world will change too. And when you surrender, you do find this deep peace and serenity and calmness. And it allows you mental clarity to lay an intention and hold on to it for long enough. You see, a lot of people want to intend better in their life, but they keep jumping from emotion to emotion, so they can't stay on the path of intention long enough. Neville Goddard did tell us, you must assume the wish fulfilled. Well, what does that mean then? It means that you have no emotional weight around that circumstance anymore. So if you're struggling for money and you need to manifest more money, the assumption of the wish then is to let go of any fear around money. And then you are now assuming your wealth, because someone who is wealthy doesn't fear money. If you are on a healing thing, it's like you start to push the boundaries of your own physicality and let go of the fears around it. And what's going to happen? The body will respond. It's like this. It's just so beautiful. So you create the identity, but it's not possible to create a new identity on top of fear. So as you let go, your identity shifts to one of calmness and trust and ease and acceptance. And gosh, what happens then? Life starts to open up like a miracle, because you are now in the absolute flow of life. And the thing is, if you actually take a second to look at this world, not the news, not the newspapers and all that, it is so full of beauty and wonder. And you see a sunrise in the morning and you say, what part of me added to this? I'm the one who gets to just experience it. So there's a beauty in life without my conscious participation. So why don't I allow that beauty to guide me now? And that's the thing you have to come to. And since letting go to that, life has just seemed to work out every step of the way. And you become lucky. People go, how did that work out for you? How did that happen? I don't know, but I do know it's God. They say, well, how are you able, what happened? Did you win the lottery or something? Your life just so dramatically different. And you're like, no, I just started to believe that God will provide. And I convinced myself and let go of any fear that said differently. So letting go allows you to grow in faith. That's why it changes your life. And that's the beauty of this, isn't it? So as you let go more and more, don't keep trying to add to yourself. Know that you're trying to create space to allow God to come into it. That's the biggest part. Allow God to come into your life. But you do it by letting go of the blocks and the limitations and the fears and the guilt and the shame. Forgive everyone. Let go. Why do you need to hold on to it anymore? Why do you need to feel so heavy? It's not light enough to allow Divine Spirit in. So work on that this year and see how your year will change. It is so beautiful. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you at the next one. Comment down below, what was your favourite part?